It's the midweek catch up. It's Wednesday. Pleasant good evening to everybody out there in listening land. Tough form coming back right at you one more time. Greetings and salutations to everybody. So here we are, still chugging along in the 2022. Yes, year is going pretty fast and the streets are still moving fast. So here we are again, coming back at you with some couple news items that we're going to talk about tonight briefly for the Wednesday gwaan. What's going on, people? It's been a busy week as usual. Trusting everybody's all right and everybody's staying safe out there. So here we go. Monday, April 4th, my birthday month. We're in April already. Monday, April 4th. And today, on Monday, we found out that a 17-year-old male was sentenced today for accidentally killing two children with his father's vehicle. The teen, now 17, was charged at 16, has been sentenced to, drumroll, 1 year open custody. Yeah. So the questions I really have today on this particular topic, was this sentence appropriate? Is it considered an accident? And what does this really say about the judicial system? For here, we lost, a family has lost two children, boy and a girl. They would have celebrated a birthday each this year. And the 17-year-old boy will now be in an open custody situation for taking two lives, making a bad decision, as some call it. Some call it an accident. You can weigh in and tell me what you think. Someone at 16 took a vehicle and knew what this vehicle could do, just didn't know the speeds that they could navigate around a corner, and in so doing ended up taking the lives of two precious souls. So that was what happened on the Monday here. That 17-year-old boy was now sentenced to 1 year open custody. So many things to talk about there, but I'm just dropping the headlines. We can discuss this at another time. We also had update on the body that I talked about last week that we heard about was found dismembered in a garbage bag. We saw the news develop through the week and realized that the son was also missing and not really considered a suspect until some days later they found the son and charged the son for the murder. Wow. And this is not TV, folks. This is real life happening here. Yes, the son was charged for the death and murder of his mother. All right, let's move on. So here we are now, Tuesday, 5th of April. We hear of, before I go into that subject, I saw this interesting article in the Star, and it was talking about an Israeli woman who was charged and eventually sentenced. And wow, this one stuck out because the sentence seemed kind of harsh, if that's what I can say. So here it reads: the UAE, the United Arab Emirates, has sentenced an Israeli woman to death for cocaine possession. You heard that right, cocaine possession. Now, the 43-year-old woman, who's a Haifa if I pronounced that correctly, resident. She owns a photography studio, and she was arrested on March 21st of last year with a half a kilogram of cocaine. Half a kilogram is just over 1 pound of cocaine. And she also claimed that it did not belong to her. And her lawyer is at this moment appealing the decision for the death sentence. Yes, this woman was sentenced to death for cocaine possession. And maybe, it's because of the culture, maybe it's because of the area. I don't know. Times are stiff, but yeah. First of all, it doesn't seem to be alleged anymore because she's actually been sentenced, but they're still working on that appeal. So I believe death is kind of steep, but I guess we all have different opinions of the capital punishment system and how that works around the world. We can delve into that another time too. I'm just here giving the headlines. It's a midweek catch up, folks. So yeah, this is what you're hearing right now on the Wednesday gwaan. So as we were talking, and we started this segment with update and sentence, and here comes another sentence just consecutively the day after. And we have another sentencing of a man that goes by the name of Corey Fenn. You may be familiar with this story. This man murdered his girlfriend, on again, off again girlfriend. And he also murdered her two children, 13 and 14 years old. And this person has been sentenced to life in prison with no chance of parole for 25 years. What a difference here we see with an adult and a juvenile and the sentence differences. Lives were lost. They were taken by the two different individuals, but one has a sentence on Monday. We hear of a year open custody. Those lives will never be brought back. And here we have two more lives that were taken by another gentleman on the Tuesday, updated from, I believe it was 2018. And here it is now that he is gonna face life in prison without the possibility of parole for 25 years. So he's gonna do some significant time, and no matter how much time he does, it will not bring back the lives of those two young souls that he took away. However, I believe, in my opinion, that this sentence is much more appropriate. I don't know if that would be the appropriate sentence for the young boy who ran over the two children. However, the judicial system has to be a little more creative, I believe. They have to be able to at least, I mean, come on, there's so much other things they could have done. I know I said I wasn't really going to go into it, but I mean, you could have said, um, prohibited him from attaining a license for many, many, many years so you can ensure that he's not behind the vehicle, behind the wheels of a vehicle again. Um, Sentence could have definitely been stiffer, but hey, I don't know how his parents are looking on it. So, and if that would have been my child, I'm sure I'd be very upset. Probably be glad the sentence that it wasn't so stiff, but I'd still be saying he got off lucky. So that's the midweek catch up there for Tuesday. Anyway, let's go on to Wednesday. Here we are today, midweek hump day. And the Wednesday gwaan for today is this: that we found out a suspect of a stolen car was arrested today after fleeing on Highway 401 on their way to Ottawa, and they ended up crashing. The suspect was arrested, taken into custody. We heard that, I read an article anyway, that the Calgary police have charged a youth with a second-degree murder in the death of a teen whose body was found in a suburban green space last week. So here we have the two keywords that ring out to me. We have youth and we have teen. One youth charged, one youth found, one teen, another youth found dead. And we see this pattern just keeps going on and on, that it's teenagers, it's young kids, young individuals that are taking lives and making reckless decisions, and want to know what that's about. Why is that happening day in and day out as you read the headlines, as you read the news, as you see it just you know going across your TV screen? This is what's happening, folks. And just breaking news, just not even two hours good. Before I came on here, I'm seeing triple stabbing in Scarborough. Yes, one male victim, or sorry, three victims, one male taken into custody apparently for stabbing three different individuals, and one is really not in good shape. So, again, violence is really prevalent. Violence is on the rise steadily, consistently, and we need to find a way to mitigate this, to really see how we can change that news cycle that we see happening on the regular. Wow, what a 3 days! And I'm only skimming the headlines because it would be just so much. But we have a lot to talk about in the coming weeks, months, and years. God spare our lives. I'm only here just to recap a little bit of it and let you know what's going on the Wagwan. So that's the Wednesday Wagwan, the midweek catch up for this week. I'll probably get back at you soon. Not sure about next week as we're approaching our Easter month. A lot of things going on within my church circle and my immediate family. But I'm going to be posting up these videos and looking for your feedback. So when you get a chance to view this, if you're not doing it right now, please chime in. Please put in your comments, and we'll get to talk about some of these issues. Young youth, teens. It's a sad situation. Men are dying still continually. Young men are dying, and we need to see a change. It's time. It's time. It's past time. Help me, please. Help me make sense of this. Help me with some solutions. I want to get out there. I want to eventually move beyond the talking, but I still want to continue the dialogue so that we can hear every aspect. We can tackle. We can see what caused, or what is it that is making the youth of today make some poor decisions, in which we're losing lives, and it seems like some of the repercussions or the penalties are just not adequate in my mind, and some of them are, but it's just weighing down on our system still. But I digress. In the meantime, I'm going to remain optimistic. I'm going to remain positive, and I'm going to remain hopeful. So, in the meantime, I don't post these things, I don't talk about these things to make you feel depressed. It's just that we live in a sad world, but we can make it better, make it a better place because we are still living in the same world. Peace to everybody out there in listening land. It's been a blast one more time. Thank you for tuning in. Until next time, this has been the midweek catch up or the Wednesday walk on. Peace and one love.